Hi everyone, welcome to Luna Wisdom Tarot. I'm Antoinette. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. For the subscribers, thank you. Just want to send you guys a virtual hug. I'm so excited that you joined the channel. And I have another pick a card reading for you. So this one is about the upcoming full moon. What manifestations are coming your way? And so what I want to do today is kind of do a deep dive and get some encouraging messages. Like, what can we look forward to? What energy is going to be kicked off with this full moon? How are we going to see manifestations coming true in our lives? So with that, let's get into it. I have 3 piles in front of you. First, we're going to start with pile 1. So we have this stone card here, and this stone is the blue calcite. So you can select either the stone or the card, which is a full moon in Sagittarius. See the big picture. And these cards are actually pulled from the Moonology Manifestation Oracle card deck. I thought this was appropriate for our manifestation reading today. This stone card, this would be pile number 2. And it is green calcite. So you can select that or the card, which is a full moon in Gemini. Embrace the flow of life. So that's pile 2. And then pile 3, full moon in Leo, go wild. That's the card. And we have this stone, and the stone is hematite. Okay, so go ahead, meditate on the cards, decide what will stand out to you, and then you can go ahead and join me in the reading. And just as a general reminder, my readings are for large groups of people, so please keep that in mind. Some's going to resonate, some will not. So discard what doesn't resonate, keep what resonates for you. And then if you start listening to a reading and you're really not connecting to it, I just suggest to pick another pile. All right, with that, I will see you at your reading. Hello, pile 1. Thanks for joining this reading. So if you selected the blue calcite card, or if you selected the full moon in Sagittarius, see the big picture, this is your reading. I do want to point out that, sorry, I don't know where I'm going to put this little guy. Put it off to the side here. Okay. So I do want to point out this reading is meant for a large group of people, so please take what resonates and leave the rest. And with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. So today we're talking about, for the upcoming full moon, what manifestations are coming your way. And the first thing I'm going to do here, I'm kind of shuffling through the cards a little bit for us to get queued up. But first things first, I'm actually going to read out of the Moonology Manifestation Oracle card book, and I'm just going to, I just want to set the tone a little bit about this card, the one that you selected, and what it means. So the card talks about the world is your oyster when you draw this card, but you need to find balance between where you are and where you want to be. It may be that you need to do some research before you move closer towards whatever it is you want. When you're manifesting, the journey of discovery can be as empowering as dreaming the big dream. And then the final thought on here is, I know that I am blessed and I love my life within that knowing. That's your manifestation affirmation. I know that I am blessed and I love my life within that knowing. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start pulling some cards. So the first thing I'm going to ask is, what is being manifested during this upcoming full moon? What is being manifested during this upcoming full moon for pile 1? We have the 8 of Cups. A bunch of cards fell. I'm not going to take those. I'm just going to keep shuffling here. What is being manifested for this upcoming full moon? Another 8, 88, 888 may have some significance for you. What is being manifested? Upcoming full moon. Justice. Nine of Swords. Okay. Let's see if I can get one more. Oh, she's already turned out the High Priestess. Okay. So, what is being manifested? Well, we kick off with the Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Cups here, I'm sorry, it looks like some sun's kind of coming out on the card. I'm going to just fix that really quick. My apologies, I'm set my table in a different spot today. Okay. Hopefully that's better for the camera. All right. So when we're thinking about seeing the bigger picture and what you're manifesting, the Eight of Cups comes in with a very clear message. It's starting out with a message of a individual walking away. And you see there's some broken cups here. If you count them all up, there's 8 cups. They're all in different states. And this person's walking away. They're not trying to salvage what's left. They're not crying over what's broken. They're moving with intent. So when we look at this card and we start thinking about what we're seeing here, is that what the answer here about this, manifestation coming your way is that you will be able to calmly leave something behind, something that could even be considered broken. It can be a change in relationships. It can also be a change in, career. It could be walking away from something that you were just super passionate about that brought you a lot of meaning, and now maybe you're taking a different perspective on that. But regardless, you're comfortable to walk away. You've hit this time in your life where you see that there's no salvaging it. And so you're doing this without emotion. This person's not trying, again, to salvage anything in this card. So when we think about what is Paula manifesting, the next card out was the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Now this is significant for 2 reasons. One is that the 8 came up twice. And so there's a lot of symbolism to this. This craftsman here is working very diligently. We see that there's a couple pentacles waiting for him to finish. There's at least 5 that are done. And there's one that's midway through creation. And so this card came out in reverse. What we're looking at here is that I see this as something like, when we talk about seeing the bigger picture, the full moon in Sagittarius, that message, you are happily focusing on the important tasks. This card is in reverse. So the manifestation here is that you will, if you're not already in this vibe, you will be in this vibe with the full moon manifestation, which is that you will happily be in the stage of creating and building without feeling a sense of rush, but yet ease. You notice here he's building at ease. He doesn't look stressed out. He doesn't look like he's in a particular sense of rush. Frankly, he doesn't look worn out. That's also something to note here. So this is very important to note because this is something that kind of came up in your reading. We noticed here with the full moon in Sag, when we read the book, it talked about needing to do maybe some more research before you go after what you want, that maybe there's some other things that you need to do as you go through your journey of manifesting your dreams. And so here, this is a confirmation that whatever that activity is for you, you'll be able to do that with this manifestation, and you'll be able to be comfortable with that activity. So it's really a confirmation of where you'll be in this process versus fighting the process. You've embraced it. Then we see the Justice card, and that comes out here. And I think this one is actually incredibly important as well. And the reason why it's so important for you in this reading is that we're looking at something as a cause and effect. That's really ultimately what the law is about. And when we think about you're comfortable to walk away and you're comfortable working on what you're going after, your next manifestation, then that cause and effect, or the balance, right, of the scales is completely in tune. As the sword is held up in the air, complete balance, because now you've balanced out some of those disruptive energies that may have been bothering you in the past. Then we have the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is in reverse. And what we're seeing here is that even though you're ambitious and you're fast thinking and you're action oriented, because it's in reverse, it means that you've also hit a sense of balance of not overreacting to the things, not overcompensating for anything. You have completely embraced the next steps and how to accomplish what you want to go after in a very clear and concise way. Now, the last card that came up on what you're manifesting is the High Priestess, and she is upright. I want to point out as well, the Justice card is number 11, and then you have a 2 here. Both of these numbers, like 211 could be significant, 11 could be significant to you, but there's something to be said about this card, because the High Priestess is really a card in the deck where she carries sacred knowledge. She has a lot of connection to her intuition. What I see here is that because you picked the full moon in Sagittarius, see the bigger picture, you've essentially done that. You've essentially are seeing the bigger picture. You are seeing all of the things that you're capable of, and you're sitting in your intuition and enjoying that process. That's what you're manifesting with this upcoming full moon. So now we should probably be asking how. How will you see the big picture? How is this going to come to play? How is this? What are some tools that you would maybe need along the way? So the Devil card came out in reverse. Do like that. Six of Wands, lovely. King of Wands, one of my favorite cards in this particular deck. I love the art. The Strength card. Another 8. So yeah, eight's a big number for you. You may want to look that up. The meaning of 888 as well. It's interesting because I almost said that at the beginning of the reading, and I held myself back. Whenever that happens, it's like Spirit makes sure I say it anyway. So 888 is definitely significant. Okay, and 3 of Cups wraps it up in reverse. So when we're asking ourselves how is this full moon manifestation? Like, what is it? Like, how is it gonna, look in your life? It starts off with the Devil card in reverse. The way I see this card is that it's like this resistance to go along with what was. So the Devil card here, I'll hold it up for the camera. So the Devil's smoking, kind of enjoying its life, and there's all these people who are all chained up and kind of giving into vices and along the way. This is in reverse. This is significant for you. What I see this as is, as you see the bigger picture, things that you struggled with before, you no longer struggle with. It's almost like you could have like vices, like, that you struggled with in the past. We could say drinking or smoking or, whatever it is. What's happening here with this full moon in Sag is this showing that it's easy for you to walk away. So as we look here, this person's walking away. The Devil's in reverse. This is literally the energy you're transmuting. And so when we think about the how, this is the how. This is like some of the clues you can kind of look at on knowing it's happening in your life, because you'll start maybe witnessing, oh, wow, I'm really not drinking as much as I used to. Or, oh, I'm not, maybe a workaholic. I'm not so tempted to be at work at all hours anymore. Like I come home very easily and I'm not stressed about my inbox, even though my inbox is just as full. Like whatever it is, That's what's happening here. And so the Six of Wands it's what I see this as is you already see many victories. That's what this is about. You're seeing victories over like past struggles, over things that you didn't even know how you were going to conquer. It's like they quietly got conquered in the middle of the night. They quietly got conquered without you having to take so much action, so much intentional movement. Again, remember, this is a full moon manifestation. Whatever work you needed to do is done. We're not talking about any sort of action on your part. We're talking about the actions that you'll see that plays out and confirms for you this manifestation is here. This is what I'm seeing. Wow, I've changed in these ways. The King of Wands comes up next, and I did admit it is one of my favorite cards in this deck. This might hurt tarot. One of my favorite decks, actually. Okay, so the King of Wands. What we're seeing here is that now, when we look at justice, remember how we talked about justice and how it was even now? It was even because you could walk away and you had the patience to see things through as you're working after what you want. The manifestation card, just to remind you, talked about taking the time to research, taking the time to do what you needed to do to manifest, what you're going after next. The fact that the King of Wands is on top of the Justice card, it represents justice to the fact of your creativity. The fact is you are incredibly creative and you're incredibly charismatic. These things are in balance now. They're not things where you're conflicted with. You're not fighting aspects of yourself. You're embracing them, which is actually elevating your creativity, is elevating your charisma, is elevating everything that you have naturally. I do want to point out that I do see that you don't have to necessarily be a classic creative, be doing a class of creative endeavor. But what I noticed with the Ace of Wands is that I do believe that some of you for sure are classic artists. You could be painters, you could be musicians, you could be actors, you can be designers, any type of like artistic expression. I definitely see that here. But if you're not any of those things, you say, well, I don't know about that. There's a lot of ways we can be creative. Maybe you're creative in how you know how to fine tune your Instagram or how you're able to present yourself on LinkedIn. And there's an art to almost everything. So whatever it is, it's bringing out that side in you, that sense of creative expression, however you show it. So that's what I see here for the King of Wands. It's like this creative expression is coming into balance. So you may have been, experiencing at times like a bit of writer's block. So they say. I forgot to mention writers, but writers as well. This could be the right message for you. But it's that block, it's that creative block where you're not able to move forward. That's what I see coming through here with your manifestation, which is the card 11, Justice card. When the King of Wands is on top, that's so significant because it's telling us those internal kind of cues that maybe you're fighting in the past are now completely in line with each other. And then we look at the Strength card on top of the Knight of Swords. That action, that sense of purpose, that drive, you're moving fast, that has existed, but I talked about how it being in reverse and the fact that now you've balanced it. Now you've hit this kind of sense of steady. In the past could have been viewed as being impulsive. But you know what? What's so crazy is that the Strength card is on top. It takes a lot of strength to be able to take back, like, if you look at controlling this motorcycle, he's unbridled, he's in the air. Think about the control it takes. And then one hand on the motorcycle, and then if you see here, sorry, let me adjust it so you guys can see better, he's holding a sword. This is a very action-oriented card and a very focused card, and it takes skill to do what he's doing here. That's hence the Strength card, bringing it home, another 8, right, in the reading. This is incredibly important to acknowledge the strength it has taken for you to find balance in this particular arena of meeting action with patience. meeting intention, but not being, we'll say, locked in to, I don't know what move next. You're able to balance that Knight of Energies, or that Knight of Swords energy, where you can move forward and you can move on pretty quickly. Then we have the Three of Cups. So the Three of Cups is something that it came out in reverse, and it's a group of ladies here all celebrating among the pumpkins. And so on top of the High Priestess, and the High Priestess, remember, is talking about intuition. So when we think about the significance of the Three of Cups on top, what I see it as is you lean into your intuition, and you see that because you're no longer seeking advice before you make a move. Not to say you don't get advice, but you could have been the type of person, Pile 1, where you often need to call your friends to discuss before you send a text, before you send an email, before you make a big decision in your life, because you're second guessing yourself. That's what we're talking about here. We're not talking about not being close to your friends, not having conversations, not leaning on mentors, coaches, friends, family. You still lean on them for support, but the difference is you have a good mastery of your intuition now. So, and that's what this manifestation is coming in. That means that maybe areas where you second guess yourself and you're just like, oh my God, and you call your friend and you get advice, they say you should do it. And then you call another friend just to make sure that you should do it. And maybe after that, you talk to your mother, or your father, or your, some sort of mentor, and you ask the same question. It's like revalidating your intuition that you already knew, but you keep checking with other people. Okay? Now, what's happening, the action that changes that you'll start observing is you're reaching out to them less. You reach out to them when you really don't know, but there's a lot of times now where you're clear on the next move and the intuition, and you have the confidence to move forward. And that's what this is all about. Okay, so we're going to keep going now. I'm going to bring these cards up so we can look. And what I'm going to ask now is, what are the signs that it's almost here? So we already see how, we asked, how is this manifestation going to show? What is the manifestation is the first question. So now the next one is, all right, we all care about the timelines here. What signs that it's almost here, right? What are the signs that you should pay attention to know that your manifestation is almost here? We have the Ace of Wands, Three of Wands. Sorry, it looks like I flipped that by accident. It's supposed to be Ace of Wands in reverse. And Three of Wands in reverse. A lot of Wands energy. You could be a fire sign, Leo, Sag, Aries. Sorry, I was blanking there for a second. Five of Cups. Okay. Oh, Seven of Swords in reverse. What signs? Okay. Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so what signs Power 1 is going to see when your manifestation is almost here? Okay, so what signs are you going to see? So, all of this is about you're expanding your picture of the world. You're expanding your picture of your manifestation and how you're going to come about it. And when we look at the Ace of Wands in reverse, right out the gate, the messaging here is that there's a lack of passion. There's a bit of boredom. If you're feeling right now a bit bored or lack of passion, or just, we can say even almost disingenuous about this manifestation, almost like, well, we'll see. Like, you no longer allow yourself to get excited about it. Ironically, that's a sign that's coming. It is a sign is almost here, because you're a little, it's almost like you're losing the fire. So if that's true for you, it's soon. It's coming very soon. If you feel like you're in a motivated spot, then it will come maybe the next time you're feeling a little, not yourself, right? Like, it doesn't have to be like this consistent down spiral. Sometimes it could just simply be you just had a tough week and you're kind of over it. But pay attention to that feeling, because then it's like confirmation that you're on the right path, you know? And everything ebbs and flows too, and we know that. So the Three of Wands came up next, and this is in reverse. All right, Three of Wands. When we think about this card, we're looking at, there may be some, I think it plays into the Ace of Wands energy actually, like some delays along the way, right? Just feeling delayed, feeling like 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of energy. I think we've all experienced this when we're going after something, especially if your manifestation is some sort of an achievement goal. It could be that. You could be manifesting a trip, you know, going somewhere because you don't have, let's just say, the cash, or you don't have time off, or some other hurdle or barrier that's stopping you from it. So the Three of Wands energy kind of talks about being frustrated, about like almost like it's not your time yet. And when we marry that with the Ace of Wands, you know, we're bringing home that lack energy, right? Like feeling like you're not getting what you're looking for. These are all signs, and it keeps going. The Five of Cups. So actually, if you're feeling down and if you're feeling like disappointed, you know, that's further iterated by the Five of Cups. So if you're feeling these feelings, for once, the good news is that means it's close, because what's going to happen is your perspective is going to shift, as we talked about earlier. Now, all of a sudden, the things that weren't going so good, the way the Five of Cups feels, right? He lost 3 cups. He's forgetting about the 2 and back. Well, then if we go all the way back to our first card, the Eight of Cups, freely walking away, not worried about what was broken nor what is left intact. You're just freely moving on. It's time. That's it. You just let it go. That's the energy that's coming. So if you're feeling this sense of loss right now, this manifestation will take away that feeling of loss. Instead, you'll be fulfilled. And instead, you will have new things you're working on to distract you from this. You'll have new focuses that will just bring it in. Remember, the Justice card came in as well. The Justice card is going to even out this energy. And whatever was impulsive, or maybe like, we'll say, like maybe it was ideas that just, maybe it wasn't fully thought through or hashed out, you would have that and you'd be so into your intuition. That's what the manifestation is about. So then when we see the Seven of Swords in reverse, there's no reason to be concerned, because the Seven of Swords in reverse talks about having the sense of feeling a bit defeated or fooling yourself. That's what the Seven of Swords is about. Well, guess what? We just talked about the Eight of Cups. You're walking away from any area where you feel like you deceived yourself. So these negative feelings, if you're experiencing them now, no, it's pretty much done, because your manifestation, this was the question we asked. What signs that we know it's almost here? Pile 1, I think this is pretty lucky, because at least you know if you're feeling this way, it's almost here. If you're not feeling this way, over time, if you start feeling this way, you know it's not going to last long, right? No matter what, you can take that away and have confirmation. If you live in this energy, it won't be long. It won't be long at all, because the whole point of getting out of this energy is your manifestation. Okay? And then we have the Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen of Pentacles serves as a promise, because what she's here is, she's practical, right? She has plenty of financial abundance. And she looks, excuse me, stifling a yawn here, I'm so sorry. She's stifling she's showing a smile. And she's just like in her vibe, right? She doesn't look too worried. She looks like she knows exactly who she is and what she's bringing to the table. This is where you'll be. So it also shows that they only spent 4 cards kind of talking about, okay, you're going to see some kind of not so great things that maybe you don't want to feel, but it's going to be very temporary, because they didn't even give you 5 cards on that. It's going to be, those are the signs. And honestly, your manifestation transmutes this and pulls out so many wonderful qualities that need I remind you what it's going to pull out of you and how it'll pull it out of you. You'll see so much success. You'll have strength. You'll have a sense of confidence in yourself and confidence in your decision making. You'll have this balance with your creativity as well as your practicality. You know, you're going to have a mastery over things that you may have not even asked to master, but you know, it could be something that was holding you back and you're just not even seeing it. Like, let's just say you spend a ton of time on social media instead of working on, we'll say, like a project or a side hustle. You just lack that motivation, and then one day you're just motivated and working on it. That is your manifestation. It's kind of what they're talking about here with the devil and the Six of Wands. It's a sense of victory over something that you may have not even known was a big driver and challenge and why you're feeling the way you're feeling. So this is great news, pile one. Okay, let's pull some oracle cards and we're going to wrap this reading. I'm going to pull from the Moonology deck. I'm just going to pull a couple oracle cards, like clarification cards. All right. A new romantic cycle begins. Okay, maybe some of you, this is about a romance. That actually holds a lot of water because of the disappointment, longing, right? Looking out for something else, as well as just feeling like, yeah, this all plays out really well. And trusting your intuition. Remember, luck is on your side. New moon in Sagittarius. We had full moon in Sagittarius, so I think that's pretty significant. You could be a Sagittarius. You could be a Libra because of course, the Justice card came out. There was a lot of discussion of balance in this reading. And then the third card, take time to breathe out. If you're going through difficult times, especially if you were really resonating with those, you know, how we know the manifestation's coming, you're going through these difficult times. One, I'm so sorry you're going through that. That's incredibly rough. But two, I want to remind you that this is temporary and to take time to breathe out because your manifestation is almost here. Okay, so with that, that is all I have for you, pile one. Please send me a like or shoot me a comment. Let me know how you felt about this reading. Subscribe if you feel called to do so. And I'll talk to you again later. Bye, pile one. Hello, pile two. Thanks for joining me. If you selected the green calcite or this card, Full Moon in Gemini, Embrace the Flow of Life, this is your reading. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to read from the Moonology Manifestation Oracle card deck, and so you can get a little bit more information on your card. And it reads here, and I'll hold this up for you. Okay. So it reads, there's a tug of war between worrying about all the details of how to solve your issue and taking a moment to get some perspective. Let life flow. Gratitude will help. It is time to change your mind about someone or something. Embrace the flow of life. Time to change your mind about someone or something. Okay, with that, I'm going to be pulling some cards. All right, so what we're going to ask is, what full moon manifestation is coming pile two's way? And while I'm pulling the cards, I do want to remind you, this is general message. So take what resonates and leave the rest. If you start listening to the messages and nothing really resonates, you may want to pick another pile. You have a lot of major arcana coming out. You already have the Hangman and the Hermit. What full moon manifestations coming your way? King of Blades. A lot of power coming out for this reading. I'm going to pull one more card. Queen of Goblets. Yeah, this is you're a very strong pile number two. Okay. Make sure everybody loosely shows up. I know that these cards may be tight. This is the Supernatural Oracle deck. Supernatural Tarot deck that we're reading from. All right. So we're starting off with the Hermit card. So embrace the flow of life. You know, what I'm seeing here with the Hermit card represented by Bobby from the show you're in a position now of introspection. And you'll notice here that Bobby has a lantern and his book open. This is really significant because it's really showing how you've done a lot of inner work. And so when we think about, what full moon manifestation is coming your way, you're going to see all the benefits that come from all of the hard work you've put in to whatever area that you're hoping for, that you're looking at. But you're going to start seeing those manifestations coming forth. Because of your introspection, it's really going to lead you there. And I don't have clarity on what specifically that is, but it's definitely something of significance to you. You're going to know what I'm talking about. Okay, then we have the Eight of Pentacles. It's actually pentagrams in this deck. So the Eight of Pentagrams or Pentacles talks about, and this came out actually in pile 1 as well, but it's, what I see it as here is you've worked at something for a very long time. You've been developing your skills a long time, hence going back to the Hermit card. So what manifestations are coming your way, pile 2? Everything you've been putting your blood, sweat, and tears into, it's going to really, you're going to start seeing fruits of your labor. You're going to start seeing it come back to you full force. That's reflected by the Hangman card. So the Hangman card, we're looking at here, you've had the ability to, and the willingness to sacrifice for what you've been going after for a really long time. And hence the embrace the flow of life. You've been fighting for what you want, pile 2. You're not somebody staying on the sidelines. You are not lazy. You're an incredibly hard worker. And you have no doubts in your mind that you're investing your time wisely. I would not be surprised, pile 2, if you've just been really on your game for a really long time, but maybe you're not seeing the financial benefits that you're hoping to see. Maybe you're not seeing results in your health journey that you're hoping to have by now. Whatever it is, we can say from a creative standpoint, maybe whatever project or art or album, movie isn't coming along the way you would have hoped. It's like that, but you are not easily phased. You've been working incredibly hard. You're refusing to give up. And with that, that's where the Hangman comes in, is because you have started to let go. That's what your manifestation's teaching you to do now, is to let go. Because you're embracing the flow of life. Notice it's flow. If you're in a state where you're constantly controlling and working hard and trying to curate every second of every moment, there's not a lot of room for flow, ebbs and flows, and happy coincidences, and all the things that could come along the way. For you, the more you embrace the flow of life, your manifestation will come in. So part of your manifestation is you becoming the Hangman energy. You're stepping into a new perspective. So pile 2, that's fantastic. We see it followed up with the King of Blades. Again, powerful. You have a lot of powerful cards here. So the King of Blades, otherwise known, of course, as the King of Swords, this is where you've used and you're learning to take your intellectual abilities and you balance it with your Queen of Goblets energy. Of course, it's the Queen of Cups. So you're taking your intellectual, your sense of authority, you cutting to the truth, and then it's going to be balanced with compassion and comfort and calm and really this emotional intelligence. So you're taking your raw intellectual ways and you're acknowledging your emotional intelligence as well, layered in. This is how you embrace the flow of life. This is how you achieve that Hangman, because you've literally balanced both the right and left side of the brain kind of a thing You have literally done something of like, literally, it's an art form to do this, because it's hard to, like they talk about, either somebody's like kind of all in their brain, then they can't relate to people and they don't care what people think, which is great, but at the same time, they don't treat people so nicely, right? What you've learned to do, pile 2, with this manifestation is you'll be a beautiful balance of the Queen of Goblets and the King of Blades, where you have this action, this truth, this authoritative way about you, hence the King of Blades, but then you can come in with this soft, romantic, emotional, calm, comforting, empathetic side. This is great. So that's what your manifestation, your full moon manifestation, that's on its way to you. Let's now look at how is it coming? How are you gonna, how is it gonna present itself in your life? Oh, the Tower card right out the gate. Pile 2, this message definitely wants to come to you. It's coming in all of these major arcanas. The High Priestess. Wow. 3 of Goblets. There is some similarity to pile 1, but it's a very different message. I don't know if pile 1 appealed to you. If it did, you may want to check out that reading. Okay. Page of Goblets. So definitely some emotional energy here. And the 6 of Bones. Lovely. Okay, let's do it. So, pile 2, you started off with the Tower, and we were asking a question. How is this going to happen? The manifestation, like, how is it going to present itself in your life? And how it's going to present itself here comes out with the Tower. It's coming out with a bang. This is not going to be subtle, pile 2. But don't get nervous. The Tower card is, of course, representative of change. But you're going to want this change. You're going to want this change, because these are all things that, for what you're growing into, what you're manifesting outward, this is good. So the Tower card is on top of the Hermit card. So I'll tell you how I see this. What I'm seeing here is that Hermit energy, that introspective energy, that's the part you're keeping. But if you're physically kind of taking a little bit of a breather from friends, family, coworkers, you're just like not as social anymore, you've been in a hermit mode, the Tower card is going to disrupt your hermit mode. The Tower card, that's how it's going to come out. There's going to be something that breaks you out of routine and forces you in new circumstances, new surroundings, new people. Pile 2, that's what's going to happen for you with this Tower card. It's not a negative thing. It's literally just like releasing you from hermit energy. You're going to keep the best parts of it, but it's releasing you from anything that's no longer serving you. And what's going to happen? So it's going to feel it could feel like very abrupt, like a sudden shift. It's not a bad thing. It's just, it's time. It's time. If you've been in a hermit mode for a long time, I've certainly experienced this in my life several times. Sometimes it's like it's so comfy to be in a hermit mode that you don't really want to come out of it. This is Spirit telling you how your manifestation, like the action you're going to see in your life to know your manifestation is like, it's pretty much here. Not it's coming, it's here. It's going to be the fact that your life's going to get disrupted. You cannot be a hermit anymore. You're going to have to do some stuff. You're going to have to be out and about. The High Priestess comes out next. So the High Priestess, this is the card that came up in the first pile, but for her, she's on top of the 3 of Pentagrams. I'm sorry. The 3 of Pentagrams. I did say that right. Okay. So she's on top of this card that the way I see it as is like, or the 8 of Pentagrams. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I said that. She's on top of the 8 of Pentagrams. What's happening with the High Priestess here is that that internal soul awakening. So remember I said you've been diligently working and trying hard and like going after something, and you have just been grinding. The High Priestess energy kind of comes in, and this is going to be almost in a very disruptive, fast way, hence the Tower card, and it's right next to it, where it's like you could look at something and you just look at it with such a, like, and unconsciously, you will start shifting how you feel about it. You'll start shifting how much time you're spending on it. You will just start seeing things incredibly differently, and you'll move more with your intuition. So before grinding it out, right? Your repetitive tasks, you're working it, you're developing your skills, you just keep grinding, keep working, faith in the future, it's gonna happen. And then one day you're looking at it, you're just like, yeah, I got this. And I can do this over here. And yes, I can do this over here. And you have complete certainty and complete calmness. That's going to be one of those disruptors. And effectively switch these cards out. It's going to switch the 3 or the 8 of pentagrams to the High Priestess. It's going to switch out. And that's where your manifestation is. You're going to call in your High Priestess energy because you're going to automatically just have that perspective, and it's going to kill this 8 of pentagrams energy where you feel like you have to work so hard all the time. It's not coming, it's not paying off, but you're going to keep grinding. You're tough. You're going to keep making this happen. It's all great, but it's definitely going to shift for you. Okay, so then we have the 3 of Goblets. The 3 of Goblets really talks about having the ability to collaborate. You're going to collaborate in a different way. Remember, you're the Hanged Man. You start getting your balance here. This is going to be your manifestation. So how do you know it's here? Because the way you collaborate with people is going to be totally different. Because you're going to have this confidence of the High Priestess. You're going to be the balance of the King of Blades and the Queen of Goblets. You're going to have this, remember, emotional intelligence, and you have that high IQ already. You're already an intellectual by nature. So that combination with the fact that using everything that you learn with your introspection period while you're in the hermit phase, all of that is going to play in such a beautiful tune where now people will come to you. Team members will come to you. Your friends will come to you. They'll want advice. They'll want your perspective. You will be somebody that people really respect and admire because they've watched your path, and now they're like, how did Pile 2 do this? How did they like manifest this? They're going to be so, frankly, blown away with what you've done and how far you've come. So then we come in with the Page of Goblets here. I don't know, I love this picture. She's like, who, me? Like, that's kind of the look on her face here. Okay, so the Page of Goblets. How does she relate into this picture where she's on top of the King of Blades? Let me adjust these a little bit up. Okay, so when we talk about, remember we're talking about how, like, what are certain actions that are going to be happening where you just start paying attention. You're like, wow, my manifestation's here. Well, the Page of Goblets is really talking about you're going to have some happy surprises, hence her face. What, me? You're going to have some really happy surprises. And those surprises could be related to the fact that you're so mentally clear and you're so in your vibe and you're setting your boundaries and, you're living your authority and all those things. And people are coming in, bringing you some sort of happy surprise. They're bringing you maybe a gift. They're doing something for you where it's like it actually leaves your heart full. The other thing I see here is you will find yourself dreaming more. Like, again, what we talked about here, and I think this one's the most significant for this piece of the reading, which is when we think of the 8 of Pentacles energy. Now, the 8 of Pentacles, she's working hard, right? She's building her skills. And then here I said, okay, now you've graduated and you have this intuition, you're the High Priestess. Well, now that you've done that and you've faced your Tower moment and you're in this full vibe, this is going to be your full vibe now. You're going to be the Hermit, right? The Tower broke you out of the physical Hermit, but you have all the benefits of the Hermit. You have the introspection. You have the self-mastery. You understand how to be alone with yourself. You understand your flaws. You understand your shadow side, right? You understand your strengths. You've graduated back to the highest level of the Hermit. Then you have the High Priestess here. Then what else do you have? Well, you have the Hanged Man, all major arcana right there. This is how you're going to be able to dream, because This energy right here, she's a dreamer too. It's not just about people loving on you, giving you gifts, you feeling that emotional fulfillment. Yes, all those things are happening. But the step further that I love is that this Page of Goblets represents for you, pile 2, that you can dream again, and you can dream a bigger dream, because now you've seen so much, you've accomplished so much, and now you're serving as that example, as that person who gives advice to the people in your life. Then you have here, this is the Four of Bones, and the Four of Bones translates to the Four of Wands. This is about community, celebration, excitement, maybe some events. Guess what? It's on top of the Queen of Goblets. Because you have this balance, maybe you have that authority side of the blades, but then you have that kind of flowy side of the goblets, and you're going to balance those things out as represented by the Hanged Man. Pile 2, you're going to really have a resurgence because you're going to be in the flow of life. Your relationships will be incredibly strong. If you don't have a lot of friends, you'll build friends. If you have friends that maybe you fell apart, maybe you guys will reconnect. But whatever it is, you're going to have a lot of reasons to celebrate, a lot of reasons to feel good. And that is how you know your manifestations here. Okay, so we're going to ask one more question, which is, what are the signs that it's almost here, right? Because we're always like, okay, what signs should I be looking for where I'm like, okay, this is going to trigger, and then I have to pay attention to the signs that it is here. The Knight of Goblets. Bring this down for sanity. Okay, Knight of Goblets. The King of Goblets. You really do have a beautiful mastery of your emotions. Pile 2, it's incredible. Hats off to you, because you've done the work, you know. This is the 9 of Pentagrams. And the Ace of Pentagrams. Okay, so some financial abundance coming your way for sure. Yeah, too many cards fell. I'm going to pull one more. Pile 2. What sign was here? Oh, 7 of Pentagrams. Okay. All right. So let's talk pile 2. Knight of Goblets came out first. So when we talk about where the signs, it's almost here. Like, where are the signs you need to look for now? The signs you need to look for now for Knight of Goblets comes up first. It's you're looking for those moments where you start feeling a bit more idealistic. Those moments where you feel more excited. Those moments where you're just like, oh yeah, this is coming together. So remember I said you're like in this hard work energy, the 8 of Pentagrams energy? So what's going to happen for you here is like, you're going to really just kind of break apart from that, and it's going to come together really easily for you, okay? Then you have the King of Goblets. The King of Goblets is fantastic for a lot of reasons, but you will have such a sense of balance and control. And, you know, you could be a Libra only because I said balance, right? So we're thinking about that scale energy, but it doesn't mean you have to be a Libra. There's a lot of emotionality in this deck. You could definitely be a water sign. My Cancers out there, Geminis, Pisces, you know, there's a lot of emotion. And if you feel like you don't have mastery over it, know that you're way closer than you think, because you will feel as the King of Goblets in this arena. This is one of the signs that you're almost manifesting, right? So we have the signs that your manifestation's here. This is when it's almost here. Then you have the 9 of Pentagrams. I love this for you because this is about self-sufficiency. So now we're going back to kind of that King of Blades energy. But you also have that sense of, you know, your manifestations are coming true, long-term success. You're starting to see things start to come together. Remember, I'm going to take you back to that 8 of Pentagrams one more time. Working hard. Now you're starting to see the results of your hard work. Now you're starting to get hope. This is all coming in. This is the next card up for you. So if you're struggling right now and you don't know how much longer you can hang in. It's coming so fast. And when this comes, the next the dominoes start falling. This is like the first domino out. You'll have that emotional stability, which I believe you work through with your hermit energy, doing the work internally. Then your financial abundance shows. Your Ace of Pentagrams is here as well. That's talking about what? Manifestation, right? It's literally here. This is a reading about manifestation, and you got a manifestation card. Your manifestation is here. You got the Ace of Pentagrams. This could be a new financial opportunity for you, one that you've been working for. It could be a new opportunity in a relationship. It could be a new opportunity anywhere in your life, right? Career. But this is what's coming for you. Then you have the Seven of Pentagrams. The Seven of Pentagrams is a card that is going to wrap this reading before we go to Oracle. So this card talks about having a long-term view and being willing to invest. You're already doing those things. So as your Nine of Pentagrams comes through and you start seeing the results of everything that's happening, you'll start seeing new financial opportunities. And then there, you will start going after those opportunities with long-term success in mind. So pile 2, you have a lot to look forward to. All right, I'm going to pull a couple of oracle cards from the Moonology deck, and then we're going to wrap this reading. First one up. Let me shuffle a little bit. Okay, there you go. Adjustments are required. I feel like this is probably referencing your hermit energy, that you're going to have to adjust a little bit. Emotions are running high, super moon. Yeah, you're hitting that emotional space where you're going to be doing amazing. So that doesn't surprise me you got that, because all the emotionality that came out in the cards. The end of a tough cycle approaches. So you're almost done. Pile 2. Like, you're almost there. Don't lose your focus. Know that you're about to have it. I'm going to leave you with these words from your flow of life. And it's the manifestation affirmation. I share kind, loving words with the people in my life. And just remember, there's a tug of war between worrying about all the details of how to solve your issue. Take a moment to get some perspective. Let life flow. Okay, pile 2, thank you so much for joining me today with this reading. I look forward to speaking with you again. So if you enjoyed this reading, please send me a comment and subscribe. It helps the channel. But otherwise, you know what? I look forward to speaking with you again soon. Take care. Hello, pile 3. Thanks for joining me. If you selected the hematite card, or if you selected this, full moon in Leo, then this is your reading. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull the Moonology Manifestation card details from the book. Just give you a little bit more information on this. Okay, so go wild. Hold this up for you. And it says, as tempting as it might be to try to control a situation, you'll be better off now if you just release and go a little wild. You'll get an answer to your question soon, so you might as well enjoy the ride. The expected thing is that having fun is one of the most powerful ways to manifesting your desires. Distance yourself from arrogant people. Ooh, this one's definitely interesting. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the tarot cards. We're going to be using one of my favorite decks, the Light Seer Tarot. And I'm going to go ahead and start shuffling. In the meantime, let's talk about this reading. So this reading is a general reading. It's intended for a lot of people, so please keep that in mind. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If you start listening to this reading and it doesn't really apply to you, you just feel like it's not your reading, feel free to select another pile. All right, so today we're asking, what for pile 3 full moon manifestations coming your way? we're going to first ask, what is a full moon manifestation that pile 3 is looking forward to, right? What is coming your way? Right, we come with the 6 of Swords, 7 of Swords coming up next. Hangman. Okay. What full moon manifestation is coming the way for pile 3? Hierophant. Okay, great. And the Queen of Cups. Excellent. Okay. Let me see if I can bring this down a little bit so get all of them in the shot. Okay. Let's talk pile 3. So we're talking about manifestation that's coming your way. The Hangman kicks off this reading. You know, when I look at this card, she's tilted forward. She's got this light kind of beaming here. She's in almost like a yoga pose. She's actually holding her feet. And then she's reaching out for the water below her. There's a lot of synchronicity here. There's a lot of congruency that I'm seeing here. And so I think the manifestation that's coming your way is represented by the Hangman. It's a sense of surrender. The Hangman, I believe, came up in every reading tonight. I could be wrong, but I believe that's true. It definitely was in pile 2. But what I think that's significant for you is this is the most developed way I've seen the Hangman, meaning it's like the full embodiment of the Hangman card. It's not about switching perspectives. It's not about, letting go or anything like that. It's really about a full surrender. It's like the last pile 2 may appeal to you. The card for that pile was Embrace the Flow of Life. This is almost like pile 2 graduated into pile 3 and now go wild. It's very interesting to me because it's like it's a level up of that energy. So pile 2 might have appealed to you. If it does, listen to this and go back. You may have some messages in there. But ultimately, this Hangman card is like, you can fully just release and literally go wild. You have done the work. Pile 3. Okay, so the 6 of Swords comes up next. And, she's looking down. She's kind of morose. She's definitely, this is a moment of, in my opinion, release. And it's also a moment of transition. What I see for you here, even though the card doesn't represent, because her face doesn't look particularly happy, but like the way I see this for you is you will happily release the past. This is not, you are not like at all bothered by the next phase in your life. You're not at all bothered by what's happening. You've completely embraced the idea of moving on, of letting go, of transitioning to your next phase in life. And that plays into the 7 of Swords. The 7 of Swords, if you look there, you're really paying attention. What is this card really about? It looks like this person's getting away, doesn't it? There's a city in the background. There's all of these ravens or crows that are here in the card. It shows a sense of getting away. It shows a sense of strategy, right? Because you have to it looks like it's nighttime, so definitely sneaking out, thief in the night, right? Like not trying to be seen along the way. So you've released, you've let go, right? So you surrendered. That's how we started this, right? That's the first manifestation. You've released and embraced a new transition, a new phase in your life. You've approached it with strategy now. You've approached it with intention, and you're doing it in silence. You're moving in silence. All these cards are singular beings. Nobody's with them, including your Leo card with a lone lion. So then we go over to the Hierophant. Where are these stairs leading to? Look at the joy on this face. abundance of joy, the Hierophant. It's important for you to really sit in this energy, because this energy is a fact that you have reached a level of spiritual wisdom, and you've reached a sense in yourself where you're comfortable with who you are, and it's like you believe in yourself, maybe even for the first time. But it's like this deep understanding of who you are, of who you want to be, of where you're working toward. You're a fully fledged, developed person. We're talking about next level stuff. We're talking about things that people don't accomplish until they're later on in their life. You could be any age listening to this video. I will tell you, you could be 70s, 80s years old. It makes no difference. Because this level, some people never reach it. They can live to 100. Because we're talking about being 100% good with who you are. You're not looking back over the past. I'm going to go back to the Six of Swords. Does she look like she's looking backward? No. Hangman. She's what? She's looking forward and she's beaming, right? We look here. Seven of Swords. Moving on, right? That's the moving on energy. Are they looking back? No. And then we move and progress to what is going on, right? Because we're seeing all of these partial shots. Now we get full on shots, so we can full on see what are you experiencing emotionally. We're talking about belief in yourself now. We're talking about the spiritual awakening, the sense of freedom, the sense of like strength that you've developed in yourself, which is incredible. And then you go to the Queen of Cups energy. The Queen of Cups energy, now you're bringing in all that emotional intelligence. You're bringing in all the faith, all of the love, all of the things that like maybe your emotions crushed you in the past. Now you have complete control over them. Now that person that would have triggered you and you're going to want to, get really like down the dirt with and not take the high road. Now you don't even think about high road and low road. You just leave the room. You just could really care less. They're not disrupting your behavior anymore because you've moved on. And that's what this card is talking about. Okay. So now what we're going to do is ask how this manifestation is coming your way. Now we know what's being manifested, and pile 3, it's impressive because we're talking about a fully developed person. This is why you can go wild. But how is this going to manifest? So 8 of Pentacles. These are signs of like how it's going to manifest in your life. These things happen right before it manifests. 5 of Swords. You have a lot of sword energy. It looks like I have not shuffled the deck, but I really have, guys. Kind of strange. 7 of Pentacles here on top of 7 of Swords. 7-7, 7-7-7 could be significant to you, as well as 7-7-5. Okay. So how is this? Like what action? We have the 9 of Wands in reverse. What action? Oh, of course. It's like I knew it would come before it even came. King of Wands. Does that not look familiar? Look at the full moon, Leo, go wild. That's how we're wrapping it up on. These are going to be actions, outward signs, okay, that your manifestation is here. All right. So we kick it off with the 8 of Pentacles. The 8 of Pentacles is all about, look at this, making a choice. You'll have a lot of things to choose from. And when we look at the 5 of Swords energy, like his expression, how he's holding his head, and he just looks like stressed out. When we think about choice and where you're going to be sitting with this energy and the 5 of Swords, I think it's important to point out that you may have some internal conflict about what you want to do next. And you may have some, like you have all of these things to do, and it's like, it's hard for you to make a choice. This is where that full moon in Leo comes in. Go wild. Go wild. Choose your wildest dream versus a safe dream. That's what this 8 of Pentacles is really referencing. Don't get caught up in this 5 of Swords energy. So if you start seeing this 5 of Swords energy come up, maybe you're getting a bit more like internal conflict, or a bit more desperate about what you should choose, or if you already feel like you lost before you chose, like, oh, this is going to be a losing battle. Though that is not your energy. That five sword energy is not your energy. It's very temporary. Know that. So if you experience that, see it for what it is, see it as temporary, and lean into the fact that just keep moving. Because the Seven of Pentacles kind of says it best, right? The Seven of Pentacles is about continuing to invest in yourself. It's about having a long-term view. So if you lean into the Eight of Pentacles, yes, I have a lot of choices. I'm feeling this, but wait a minute, I need to have a long-term view. Once you decide what you want and you're willing to go after it, then that's when you use the Go Wild card, right? So you get clear, like, okay, I have a long-term view. I want this. Then you go for it. There's this Nine of Wands in reverse. And this is really talking about being unsure, right? A little bit of like inconsistent behavior. So you may be having a bit of moments where you're just not sure and you're questioning yourself. This is actually signs that your manifestation is almost here. That true balance is almost hit, which is, I know, frustrating, but good. If you start seeing this stuff and it's like it's coming up more and more, then that is a sign your manifestation is almost here. Now you will also find, and this is what's going to make it all make sense, is this King of Wands energy comes in and actually tempers down all of this. Because you may like have a topsy-turvy kind of thought process, like, okay, I have all of these opportunities. I don't know which one I'm going to pick, and I know that, you know, I'm going to be the one that I pick the one that's not good for me, and what am I going to do next? And then like kind of being negative here with the Nine of Wands in reverse. So having that energy here where you're just like, oh, I'm just so tired and I'm not sure and I don't know and maybe I shouldn't do anything. And then we see that it toggles back and forth with a long-term view. If you focus on your long-term view, that will help kind of quiet down the Five of Swords energy. And then with the King of Wands, if you're stepping in with your power, that is going to completely just extinguish your Nine of Wands in reverse energy. You're no longer going to be worried about, oh, I'm tired or I'm not sure. Instead, it's going to be flipped over with passion. Let me tell you why. The King of Wands, he has mastery over fire. You could definitely be a fire sign. I would not be surprised to have some Leos in the house. We have obviously a lion here on the King of Wands. It is full moon in Leo is the one that you chose. Definitely some lion energy here. What I want to point out to you is this represents being incredibly inspiring, right? Being forceful, being commanding, right? Like having this mastery of something like fire, having passion, going after what you want with intent. This is really important because this is the energy that will completely kill the Nine of Wands energy. The King of Wands energy is there. So I believe what's going to happen is when you have these moments where you're like, oh, I'm tired, I'm not sure. All of a sudden this passion will kick up like, no, this is the one, I'm going for it. And you'll see that long-term view with the Seven of Pentacles. And now all of a sudden the Eight of Pentacles isn't even a challenge because you're like, oh yeah, I want that one. And done. That's how you know your manifestation is going to be here. Because it's not about not having a challenge. You'll have the challenge. It's about how fast you move through it and how decisively you move through it. And that's what's going to happen for you, pile 3. So we're going to go on, and I'm going to just now ask the question of, what are the signs that your manifestation are almost here? So we went through like how it's going to show, right? How your manifestation is going to show, what your manifestation is. So now what signs that it's almost here? Like, what are signs you can look for at the end of this reading going forward? We already have the Five of Cups out. I like this card a lot for you. What are the signs for pile 3 that the manifestation is almost here? What are the signs? Ace of Pentacles. I love it. Yes, pile 2 had Ace of Pentacles as well. I think you should read that, listen to that if it appeals to you. The Moon card. Perfect. What are the signs of manifestations almost here? Five of Pentacles. What are the signs of manifestations almost here? Ten of Cups. Okay. So, what are the signs that your manifestation's almost here? We started with the Five of Cups in reverse. We're starting with accepting the challenges along the way. Pile 3, you are probably already starting. I feel like you're already in this vibe. I could be wrong. If you're not, you'll be here soon. But this is a sign your manifestation's almost here, and I feel like you're already doing Five of Cups. That energy. You're no longer disrupted with a perfectionistic goal. You understand challenges will always be here. You understand it's not about what happens to you, it's more about how you react. It's not just some cool thing you read online, it's something that you're actually practicing. So this Five of Cups energy in reverse, what you're doing is you're practicing acceptance, maybe and sometimes for the first time, and you have found your inner peace. That plays into the Ace of Pentacles energy really well because Ace of Pentacles is about abundance and it's about manifestation. You got the manifestation card and what signs, that your manifestation is almost here. So that's pretty cool. So what I see here for you is the fact that you're going to be able to see all the abundance in your life right now. It's not just about getting abundance in the future. I see that you have abundance and gratitude now, that you're seeing the fact like, you know what? I didn't get through any challenge. I've been through so much already. It's like you have this developed mindset that you didn't have in the past. And then we have the Moon card that came out next. The Moon card really represents this sense of, in the past, you've struggled with maybe some anxiety, right? A little bit of like falling into a fear mindset where it's hard for you to move. What I see as a sign of that is when you start toggling and you have these moments where you're really afraid or you're just like, I don't know, like nothing's going right or I'm struggling with this or just having like intense anxiety, like being almost shell shocked or frozen in place, you will be able to see that and hold space for yourself. You'll no longer judge yourself for that. Instead, this is a sign your manifestation's almost here because you're going to react to these things differently, even if it's just simply observing it and being able to see it for the first time without it getting out of hand. Being able to see like, oh yeah, I could tell I'm struggling with this. Okay. And it's like just like a mental thought, like, okay, I'm struggling with this. I see it now. And that's it. But it's so big for you because you're not going to approach anything in a fear, lack mindset. Then we have the Five of Pentacles. And the Five of Pentacles energy, we're talking about here this lack mindset. That's the other thing, is you will have moments of lack mindset. But again, back to your intuition, right? You're going to already start seeing that you don't stay in that space long. Instead, you're going to be like, oh yeah, I'm just having a hard day. Okay. You lean back in the Ace of Pentacles energy of abundance, gratitude, having faith that more opportunities will come. You're just not easily bothered by things the way you were before. Doesn't mean you don't have challenges, right? You still have the Five of Pentacles, but it's the meaning for you is so significant here because you start to see already how it hits you has completely transitioned and transformed. The Ten of Cups energy is incredibly significant for you, and that's because the Ten of Cups represents a sense of inner happiness, joy, contentment, feeling like dreams come true. For you, especially pile 3, it ends off your reading, and I think it's important. You'll already start to see like your life is very blessed before your manifestation comes in. So you'll still have problems, right? This isn't a fairy tale life. But you will have such a sense of contentment, such a sense of inner peace, of calm. That's what is so significant for you, pile 3, is that you'll just see the world very different. Your mentality will shift. And next thing you know, you're right in the King of Wands energy. And then you're just seeing the growth and you're like transitioning through your problems so much faster as opportunities come up. And then your manifestation is here. It's really a beautiful read, pile 3, because it's like I just see it play out so clean for you. Okay, So that Leo card, you know, we read the definition, but I want to remind you of one quick thing that says here. The unexpected thing is that having fun is one of the most powerful ways to manifest your desires. Distance yourself from arrogant people. And your manifestation affirmation, I will read at the end of the reading, but first, I'm going to pull some Moonology Oracle cards. So let me pull them now. So we're just going to ask for clarifications. What other messages does pile 3 need to know about their full moon manifestation that's coming their way? What other messages do they need to know? Communication is key. New moon, Gemini. Lovely. What are some messages pile 3 needs to know about their manifestation coming their way? Emotions are running high, super moon. Yeah. I mean, it's hard, right? Like when we're going through full moon energy and manifesting at the same time, there's challenges for sure. A new start is coming. I love it. Further confirmation from Spirit. You're on your way. A new start's coming. And you're going to have so many blessings. This is an internal transformation, pile 3, which is incredible because if you have an internal transformation, you can manifest anything that you want. Like the only barrier is our mind, right? So the fact that you got this deck is actually, or this pile, is actually really significant because it just shows like, you know, the world is your limit. Okay, so to wrap this reading, your manifestation affirmation is, I live in the present and release all past pain. So, thank you so much for joining my reading, pile 3. If you enjoyed this reading, please like, subscribe, and share a comment. Let me know what you think of, what you thought of the reading, any comments that you would like to share. I'd love to hear from you. And thank you so much for listening all the way through. I appreciate it. All right, with that, I will have another pick a card for you shortly. But in the meantime, I just want to thank you and wish you the best of luck. Okay, bye.